Hey, I'm Ryan,
And I'm Cebu, and we are Capital Cities.
and you are watching the AU Review.
When you get back to the US after this trip, what's next for you guys?
Um, More touring. In fact, a really cool tour is going to commence in the States, a co-headlining tour with Fits in the Tantrums, and that starts mid-October. It goes till late November. They're a really cool band. Also, another opening act called Beat Club is going to be with us. And so we're going to do that, and then a bunch of one-off dates in December, and hopefully more music videos if we have some downtime.
And I mean, you have not stopped touring since the album was released earlier this year. Have you been thinking about new music as well along the way?
We're definitely thinking about it, and we've been talking to some kind of random people in the industry about doing collaborations at some point, but I think it's going to be probably a little while before we really sit down and start thinking about a second album, because we still have, I feel like we have pretty far to go with this album. We still haven't promoted it properly, and there's a couple more singles that we want to push, including Kangaroo Court. So I think we're going to be riding this one for a while. But of course, we're going to try to get in the studio and do some music, because I'm sure after another 2 months of touring, we're going to be a little burnt out.
We were talking about the live show and how important that is to you guys. And I mean, do you think that how your live show has developed in since you recorded the last record, do you think that'll influence how things move forward in the future?
Yeah, well, a lot of the songs that are on the album, we started playing them live before they made it on the album. So it wasn't a process where we went in the studio and recorded everything and then had to figure out how to play everything live. It's much more of a back and forth thing that happens naturally, where we start to program a song or start to produce a song, and the first step is actually we take sort of the rough sketch of it and start performing it live to like really work out what the bass parts are going to be, what the guitar parts, trumpets, and just how we want to perform it, because the more you perform something live, the better we get at singing it. So when we go in the studio, we're able to record the vocals faster. So it's kind of this back and forth process, and I think the next step for us is to add a live drummer, which I think will probably influence the next album that we make, because we may want to put live drums on everything, whereas with our first album it was only a few songs have live drums on them.
And while you're here, you're going to be on X Factor. It's going to give you a pretty instant feedback from the Australian
Yeah.
community, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. From what we understand, it can be a very impactful thing to do. So we'll see.
And hopefully that means we'll see you back here again sometime soon.
For sure. Can't wait to tour Australia.
And maybe you'll actually get to go and spend some time with some kangaroos.
Yes. Go on a walkabout. See some crocs.
We're going to go all around the circumference of Australia. Adelaide, Perth,
Melbourne.
See, I know my geography.
Hey, we know some Australians. We know Goldfields. You know the band Goldfields? They are fellow label mates, and they also opened for us on our last U.S. tour. So we've got the Aussie connection, although I don't know if we're going to see them while we're here for 3 days.
They better come out.
Don't even know if they're in town at the moment.
They're probably in LA. They're probably in LA right now.
They're doing great things over there.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
are. They're an awesome band.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday night. And
All right.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
No problem. Thanks.
Thank you.